The energy of gate 19, known as the gate of wanting in human design, is currently in transit, and it brings the most beautiful reminder that you are whole. Can you feel that? This energy invites you to reflect deeply on your relationships, to consider where you're giving energy and where you're taking energy, where you're giving from your own cup instead of your overflow, and where you may fall into patterns of codependency, how maybe you subconsciously even seek out to fill a sense of incompleteness that exists within you through your connection with others. In Gene Keys, gate 19 exists on a spectrum of consciousness like every energy does, and at the shadow level, it expresses as codependence. This is where you rely on others to feel whole or complete. And then it moves into the gift level where it transforms into sensitivity, which is a higher awareness, a higher connected awareness of the emotional or the material or the spiritual needs of others in your community. And then at the city level, which is the highest expression, it becomes sacrifice, which is the surrendered willingness to serve something greater than yourself. Isn't it interesting that the highest expression is that of sacrifice? I could do a whole session just on this, but I want to really focus in on the gift of sensitivity because it's such a powerful concept to reflect on right now. And oftentimes sensitivity is seen as this negative attribute, especially in environments like business or leadership, but also within family and friendships. Yet the true gift of sensitivity isn't about being fragile, and it's not about reactivity. It's about being highly attuned to the needs of others while staying grounded and centered within yourself. So there's an important distinction. When you're in the shadow of codependence, your sensitivity might feel overwhelming, right? You might feel that you're very reactive, or you're taking things personally, or you're constantly trying to please others as a way to get their approval. So when you feel drained after a conversation, it's worth asking yourself, am I relying on this person's validation to feel good about myself? This is the shadow of codependence at play. Yet when you're in the gift of sensitivity, you can sense the needs and the emotions of others without becoming entangled in them, without having your own worthiness entangled in them. And the shift from shadow to gift happens when you stop needing something external, whether that's approval or control or reassurance, when you stop needing these things in order to feel whole. Richard Rudd so beautifully says, in order to sense others' needs, you must first become independent from them. If your sense of worthiness is tied to your ability to fulfill someone else's needs, you're operating from the shadow of codependence. So while the 19 is in transit at this moment, this is the perfect time to reflect on, are there areas in your life where you've been overly sensitive or overly reactive? And could it be because your sense of self is tied up in someone else's response to you or approval of you? And more importantly, consider how might you show up differently if you no longer relied on their approval or reaction for you to feel whole. Gate 19 reminds you that life is speaking through your relationships and your interactions. So it invites you to listen deeply, not just to others, but to yourself and how you are in response to others. By doing so, you elevate your sensitivity into an incredibly powerful tool for connection and service, and a way to be in deeper alignment with your community.